I think having relationships with plants is a really fundamental way of orienting and in a way, dealing with the anxieties of the world is like having a really simple relationship with things that don't speak our language. Now, how am I supposed to get into relationship with 99 different relationships?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, I need a new friend. You go to a party with 100 different people and they all are trying to give you their ideas at once. Good luck metabolizing that, right? And so that's why, just for me uniquely, it's like I'd much rather be like, okay, I've just learned about this new adaptogen, like rhodiola. Wow, it seemed to come up because I was curious about this thing and ChatGPT put it on my radar. Great, so I'm going to try integrating rhodiola into my life.
Taking this more back into plants, what would you say plants look like in your life on a day-to-day? You said that you take a lot of supplements. We got your tea here. How do plants kind of work their way into your day-to-day life?
Yeah, great left turns.
I gotta keep it interesting for you too.
Keep me on my toes. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so this entire conversation, we've been talking about relationships. I think having relationships with plants is a really fundamental way of orienting and in a way, dealing with the anxieties of the world is like having a really simple relationship with things that don't speak our language, right? What is it, like the Little Prince? Did you ever read The Little Prince?
I don't think so.
For this conversation, I would say it's highly recommended.
Okay.
Like for relationships with plants, because it's a really simple story about this kid that lives in this universe and has interactions. And my favorite quote, I don't know it verbatim, but it's just like, whatever you feed or build a relationship with, you have a responsibility with. So it's like a new karma is created, when you take care of something.
And that could be a business.
Yeah, I mean, it can even be, you learn a new framework and you're in a coffee shop in Boulder and you give someone feedback, checking out your new wizard skills. That has a karma, you now have a responsibility for the impact you've made. That's why, when we were teaching people, especially like the more powerful psychotechnological power tools, you have to hold those with serious responsibility. Because if you change someone's life, that means that person's life's going to be changed. People want to make an impact in the world. It's like, have you ever been impacted? How does it feel? So, in a sense with plants, it's like you were talking about when we met earlier and how I've, worked with some supplement companies. And some supplement companies, they take a lot of different plants. It's just like, this is the ultimate insurance for your life. It's got 99 minerals and plants and probiotics and adaptogens and all of these great things. It's like, well, great. Tim Ferriss told me I should do it. Then let's do it. The problem I had with that at the end of the day was like, now how am I supposed to get into relationship with 99 different relationships?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, okay, I need a new friend. You go to a party with 100 different people and they all are trying to give you their ideas at once. Good luck metabolizing that, right? And so that's why, just for me uniquely, it's like I'd much rather be like, okay, I've just learned about this new adaptogen, like rhodiola. Wow, it seemed to come up because I was curious about this thing and ChatGPT put it on my radar. Great, so I'm going to try integrating rhodiola into my life and see what it does to my digestion, to my cognition, to my energy, to my sleep, and all of those things. Do I actually live a quiet and simple and balanced enough life where I would recognize the impact of a new element in my ecosystem? That's hard.
Hey, I just wanted to jump in here and give a quick shout out to the sponsor of today's podcast, B Micro, the easiest way to sneak vegetables into any meal. Due to soil depletion, GMOs, and monocropping, Americans are not getting enough nutrients. So in 2018, I founded B Micro, the first freeze-dried microgreens company in the US to help Americans get more concentrated natural nutrients into their diet. Microgreens are a phase in the plant's life when they're 14 days old and naturally the most concentrated in vitamins, minerals, nutrients, all the good things that we need. Our microgreens are grown here in the US in soil and a greenhouse. They're certified USDA organic and regenerative organic. We grow, wash, and freeze dry them to extend their 1 week shelf life to over 1 year, allowing us to ship anywhere in the US without the worry of spoilage. We have 2 flavors, broccoli, backed by over 2,000 studies on sulforaphane and its powerful detox benefits, and a blend of red cabbage, radish, and broccoli, the most potent detox formula we've tested, offering you the most bang for your buck. Easily sneak these microgreens in any meal. Eggs, smoothies, pizza, pasta, even your kids' mac and cheese, you can't even taste it. Use code STEVE15 to save at bmicro.farm. I would say there's very few things that I take that I can actually feel. I think most things I'm just trusting that it's benefiting me.
And I would say that's great in most cases, but if you're like doing like a traditional dieta or something like that, right? Stripping everything down, or like let's say you find out you're allergic to something in your life and you got to figure out what it is. What do you do?
Yeah. Would that be like an elimination diet?
Right. Yeah. You start blank slate fast, right? And then you start introducing things slowly. I think that's why the carnivore diet is getting such good results. So it's basically an elimination diet, but giving you a full amino acids, it's like meats for most people pretty easily digested, but then you give your whole system a break from creating enzymes for digesting anything out under the sun. Then you get to like slowly start with any kind of fast or diet, the Whole30, or whatever it is. Then you like, okay, dairy. I remember the first time I fasted and, tried diets like this. I remembered when I like brought dairy back in and it had this big impact on my digestion. It's like, okay, it's not going to kill me, but I know that it has this impact on me. Right.
In a way that didn't feel good in your digestion?
Yeah, I would say it wasn't positive,
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, but it's like, that's my relationship with dairy, right? It has benefits here, but
do you ever get any local dairy to us here in Boulder?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a great example because I remember getting raw milk, which is illegal. You got to join a co-op if you want to get raw milk. You got to do these legal hurdles to get away from the pasteurization. Oh, I loved it. And my girlfriend at the time was lactose intolerant, but she the raw milk she had no problem with. I thought that was one of my groovy Boulder experiences, right? Was like, look at this. And you got like the scientists of the world where pasteurization was like the greatest scientific achievement of like saving millions of lives. And here we are in Boulder leaping around the legal system to get raw, unpasteurized milk.
Yeah.
But that led me
to hydrating.
The Weston Price whole world view and, all of that, nourishing traditions. It's like great perspectives to go down, but I think that's like having a relationship with plants offers these kinds of opportunities of having a more fundamental relationship, right? And it's whether it's like, okay, I'm integrating a new plant, very simple plant. My teacher told me, plants are great at carrying intention, Now, these aren't things that I could like take into a lab and pass double-blind experiments or whatever. It's like, as you said, it's like, oh, I trust it, try it out. But it's kind of like when I was having, hard GERD symptoms, acid reflux and challenge, and it's like, okay, well, there's a lot of supplements and various things I could take, but with aloe, right? If I can I remember getting an aloe plant, putting it in my house, and specifically holding the relationship with it of like, you're here to help me heal my acid reflux. And that's how I related to it. That's when I would water it. I would think of that. I would hold that intention with it.
Wow.
And then when I'd fillet it open and pull it out, all of that was love that I had for my pericardial complex, which is a symptom of my whole digestion and everything. That was like one of my first kind of like close relationships with a plant that way.
Yeah, I did similar with the aloe plant and still have one in my room, and I use it and work with it in a way to help cool me down. I'll just
Mhm.
overheat. I'll get too hot, too worked up,
Mhm.
too maybe anxious, and it's just like help just cool me down.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, brilliant. And then, of course, there's the whole idea of like cultivating a plan, right? You know, like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, bringing it into your life to help you with the reasons. And I was just like, well, it was at Home Depot, so I thought it would look pretty. Well, that's fine too, you know?
Mm-hmm.
If having beauty in the house kind of lights you up, but it's like, or like, let's say you want to have a garden in your backyard, you know, you're bringing in things. Maybe it's for sustenance or just to, once again, just to make things look beautiful. It's just like, what simple relationships as analogies and metaphors for like, when do you bring in people into your life? You know,
Hmm.
do you have an intention for the people in your life? Right.
Hmm.
It's like, you and I are friends in town. We haven't seen each other in a long time,
Mm-hmm.
but in a way, you resetting the context for this conversation. It's just like, okay, there's an intention that you share here with us. And I think, yeah, plants have a great way of sharing that with us.